Bom dia a todos que se juntam a nós para essa apresentação. I will switch to English because we have the special participation of Kevin, co-founder of ChangeNow. I'm Angela Ximenes, Executive Director of ABVCAP, and we are very happy to provide institutional support for the Brazilian mission to ChangeNow. ABVCAP is a non-profit institution dedicated to promoting long-term private investment in Brazil, representing its stakeholders and acting to improve the regulatory framework, as well as aiming to attract more capital to the asset class, whether local or globally. We have 250 members, including GPs, LPs, corporations, and service providers. When I met Natasha in the end of last year, she raised concerns about not seeing Brazilians at an event like ChangeNow, where there are huge opportunities for connections with international investors dedicated to sustainable and impact investments. Considering the immense gaps in Brazil and the investment opportunities in this segment, she proposed that ABVCAP get involved so that Brazilian managers could better take advantage of this networking. Although our international agenda was already closed for the first semester, we believe that supporting this mission will be the first step towards having a more active and representative participation in the future. We encourage those who can participate not to miss this opportunity. We would like to thank Nastasia and the special participation of Kevin, co-founder of ChangeNow, who kindly accepted the invitation to show the details of the event to you. Nastasia will now introduce you to the mission objectives. Thank you.
Thank you, Angela, for the close meeting and introductions. I am really happy to provide the connections and this opportunity for Brazilians. So I have attended 4 times to ChangeNow. I'm an economist who has had a career like going abroad, seeing opportunities on this field of social impact and sustainability since more than 15 years ago. And the idea was actually to bring it in a more institutional way to Brazilians on this amazing event that you're going to have the opportunity to hear directly from Kevin. I would like also to thank the support of the INSEAD Brazilian Association of Alumni. I would like to thank the Aliança pelo Impacto, who is also a supporter, Il Futuro, and I'm quite happy to present this opportunity also in partnership with Welcome Trips, who is going to be hosting in the end. So the sequence is we're going to bring Kevin. After Kevin, we're going to explain better about the Brazilian Commission. And then we're going to close with the Welcome Trips, Q&As. And thanks once more for being here. And thanks once more for the opportunity, Angela, Kevin, and everyone. We do these projects just because there are many supporters and many people who believed in the opportunities we can bring through international collaboration, participation, and even for businesses and finance.
Bom dia, como você está? Sorry, that's about it with my Portuguese. My apologies for that, but I'm very pleased to be with you this morning/afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. So my name is Kevin Tayebali. I'm one of the founders of ChangeNow, and thank you very much for this great introduction. So I'm very pleased to be spending a few minutes with you to share about what we're doing. So that's funny. They're asking me if I want to switch my language to Portuguese, so it looks like my pronunciation was right. Anyway, so I'm going to share with you a few slides to explain a little bit about ChangeNow and the reason why we decided to create this platform 7 years ago now. Please let me know if it works. well. I hope that my screen works and the sound as well. So this gives you a view of the annual summit that we organize. So we are an organization that is 7 years old. We started ChangeNow in 2017 in Paris, France. The inspiration came from COP21 in Paris, which happened in December 2015, where we saw a great mobilization of all our states with an agreement that sent a very strong signal because more than 180 nations agreed on the goals to reduce our carbon emissions globally by 2040, 2050, and the end of century. And according to the region of the world you are in. And this was a very strong signal that was sent to the world because nations realized that we couldn't keep up with the current system, and we had to do something about it to change the current trajectory. At the moment, we're exploiting more resources than it can be regenerated. So, but then the rationale was that to meet those objectives, we also need to embark citizens and businesses. We need to bring along the power of impact and of mobilization from the private and from the private world, but also from our citizens. So the idea with ChangeNow was to create an annual summit, a moment in the year where we gather all the people that are using business as a lever to tackle one or several of the UN goals, and to create a platform that can elevate their voices, a place, a moment. You have the CES Las Vegas in Las Vegas for the tech industry. You had in every single industry, like the Cannes Film Festival for the cinema, or in every single industry, you have a moment in the year where everybody is gathering. And the idea was to create that gathering for all the voices of positive impact in the world, wherever they come from. And around them, bring all the stakeholders that can help those impact leaders scale their impact and grow in their journey. So basically bring all the people that have levels of influence, levels of capital, knowledge. So basically CEOs, corporates, large companies, investors, media, talents, political leaders, and all the stakeholders that can help those voices of impact grow in their impact and reach the next level. So that was the idea behind ChangeNow, and we started in 2017 with this idea of connecting around those innovators for change, around those impact leaders, connecting them with all the people and resources for those solutions and ideas to spread and scale. And we were very fortunate to see that this moment, which started as a 2-day event in Paris 7 years ago, grew very quickly. And the first picture that you saw that I can show you again, this is a picture of January 2020, just before the COVID crisis hit. There's about 30,000 people coming from 100 countries, and this was just the third time we were doing this summit. So it was the growth of the summit was faster than the growth of many tech forums that throughout the world, like the Web Summit or others. So we were, even ourselves were very happily surprised by the momentum around ChangeNow, and ever since we've been continuing this mission of gathering all those change makers. So now it's about 35,000. We're preparing the 7th edition, which will be happening on the 25th, 26th, and 27th of March this year in Paris. And we're very much looking forward to bringing and to hosting a great delegation of Brazilian guests at ChangeNow this year. So there's about 35,000 visitors on site that we're expecting, more than 1,200 investors, more than 500 speakers, more than 1,000 solutions for the planet that we identify and source throughout the year, journalists, and with a global footprint. The event itself is organized through, I mean, we have 5 pillars, and which basically are the way the summit is organized. We run thematic. We have thematics that are linked to the UN goals around nature, biodiversity, health, decarbonation, changing consumer habits, circular economies, sustainable cities, new mode of education, new energy, sustainable finance, food and agriculture, how to build a more inclusive world, clean mobility, ocean and water preservation. Those are the main topics that we cover at the summit. And these thematics are basically taking shape in the 5 pillars of the summit, which is a world exhibition of solutions, of innovative solutions that where we showcase 300 plus really top-notch innovative solutions. A pillar built around conferences. So for 3 days, there's more than there's 400 plus, even 500 speakers this year, sharing their knowledge, sharing their insights on stage from morning to evenings. There are quite a few networking event opportunities as well with thematic meetups, and I'll share a little bit more on that in a few minutes. Networking event between investors, between professionals in the sport industry, or institutional stakeholders, or thematic events around oceans and quite a few other topics. We have a full program around the impact of culture, because we believe that the social and environmental transition is first and foremost a cultural change that we need to make happen. And so we use a lot of formats with, I mean, using the support of artists. So we have an art exhibition with huge installations in the summit. We welcome shows as well. I mean, dancing, singing performances as well. And we have a film festival during the 3 days of the summit, where we showcase new kind of movies and that are changing the narratives around positive change. And then finally, we have a series of side events that are hosted by our partners. So it goes from large gatherings of NGOs like Ashoka, like the B Corp community, or the Earthshot Prize Foundation, the Albert II Foundations. I mean, quite a few important stakeholders from the impact community that are gathering their stakeholders at the summit. We also have very important awards that are ceremonies that are happening at the summit, like the CDP, the Carbon Disclosure Project award ceremony that will be happening as well at ChangeNow this year. So there's quite a few events that are organized by important stakeholders, because ChangeNow, more than an event, it's a platform that gathers a lot of communities, a lot of networks from the world. And that's through those communities and those networks that we can create a lot of momentum around those topics. So I'll quickly go through those pillars, but basically, as I said, we showcase top-notch innovative solutions at the summit, and there's still a few opportunities for some Brazilian innovators to join and exhibit this year, mainly in three topics around mobility, around sport, and around a circular economy. There is also the opportunity for some entrepreneurs that are raising funds at the moment to come and pitch at the summit. We have 25 thematic pitching sessions happening throughout the day during the summit, on the Monday, on the Tuesday, on the Wednesday. There's more than 1 billion euros that are in target funding that's being raised at the summit this year. And there's more than 300 jury members. So there are investors, seed level, Series A, Series B, and even later stage, but also journalists and corporate leaders that are attending those sessions, those pitching sessions. So there are still some possibilities for some entrepreneurs from Brazil to come and pitch their solution to investors. And then there are some, so when it comes to the program, we welcome every year at the summit some great voices of change. So some of you, I mean, may know Sir David Attenborough or Chief Rowney, the economist Kate Raworth, the former NBA player Tony Parker, the IPCC lead author Yamina Saeb, and many other stakeholders that have been coming at the summit every year to share as well some insights and some commitments. And then we also have some programs that are dedicated to certain topics that we believe are very influential. So for instance, around sports this year, because it's an Olympic year in Paris, we are bringing a very strong delegation of athletes, of sport organizations, federations, clubs, and other stakeholders to train them and explain them. So they have half their programs where they're going to discover all the possibilities in sustainability, some kind of solution that they could implement as well in the way they organize sport competitions, related to environmental impact or also social issues topics. And so we have launched this program to share really a lot of data, a lot of best practices, and help the sports industry become a leader of positive change, even more when it comes to climate action, because we know that the sports industry, when it comes to climate action, is a little bit late to the party, and we're helping them be a little bit more, I would say, not only aware, but I would say active stakeholders on those topics. We also have a program around women where we celebrate every year leading women that are shaping our future. So we have not only a campaign, but we will be revealing this year 25 portraits of women who have a major positive impact on their communities. And we're also helping them raise funds and get access to more opportunities, because we know that women at the moment are underfunded. They represent less than 2% of the capital raised globally. And so we have a full program dedicated to them that we run with UN Women, He for She, She Changes Climate, and One New World. We also have a great program around for our impact investors. So every year we welcome more than 1,200 investors coming from more than 100 countries, with dedicated conferences, with investor-focused workshops, gathering, events. We also help impact investors raise funds. We have an event called Funds for Change, where impact investors come and network with other investors and funds of funds and stakeholders that invest in funds as well, because we believe that we need to bring more capital in the ecosystem. There is currently a gap of funding to help us achieve our UN goals, and our mission is really to bring all the traditional asset managers and be a platform where they understand and meet impact leaders that they can invest in. So for instance, this year at the Funds for Change event, there's more than 110 funds, impact funds, that have candidated, that have applied to pitch their fund at this event. They're raising a total more than $11 billion, and there will be more than 300 limited partners coming at this event. So it's a great opportunity as well for impact investors to network with like-minded professionals, with other funds, but also meet potential investors. And then we also have a program dedicated to cities. So every year we welcome a delegation of 30+ mayors from large global cities from the 5 continents, where these mayors will come, network together, share some best practices as well, meet with leading social entrepreneurs, top innovators that are present at the summit, organize some workshops as well, have a dedicated tour of the summit, and also share on stage things that have been working locally, but also their own challenges, because every single city in the world is facing certain challenges, related to heat, drought, water usage, pollution, and so on and so forth. So we're there to share with them some concrete solutions that they can use and implement locally. And then we have some tracks dedicated to all the people that are not necessarily impact leaders, but that have levels of influence. So we have programs, learning expedition programs for top executives, for board members, for influencers, for some celebrities as well, political leaders, angels, and investors, as I mentioned before. And those programs, you know, that we have experts that spend half a day with them, 2 hours, half a day, and they spend half a day at the summit learning about the concrete solution that they can potentially connect with, invest in, or support. And those programs have been very fruitful in the past. We have usually, you know, there's a very interesting statistic that I like to use, is that there is less than 50% of the participants of the summit that declare before coming that they are in a position to have a positive impact on society. And when they leave the summit, more than 80% of them say that they are actually in a position to have a positive impact. So we're really here to boost and to galvanize the commitments and the willingness from everyone to play its part. And that's really one of the best, that's really the role that we want to play at ChangeNow, is to be a moment in the year where we mobilize all the companies that you can see here on the slide. They can be impact leaders, they can be very late as well on those topics, they can be followers, they can be laggers, we don't care. The important for them is to start for them to start the journey, to start acting, to look at what the others are doing, and that can be replicated, and make sure that everybody embarks in this journey, and we change the current standards of behaviors. And so we build this summit with the support of major NGOs, institutions, networks in the world that are, you know, organizing, as I said before, events or that are contributing to the content of the summit, the conferences, the gatherings, the workshops, and we wouldn't be able to organize this summit without their support and their mobilization. And then, as I said before, there's a lot of investors that are coming at the summit, and, you know, banks, insurances, venture cap, private equity, family offices, networks, foundations that are attending and bringing their communities as well, and contributing as well. So yeah, that's pretty much what I had to share with you today. I mean, we also, as I said before, we also host a major announcements, events at the summits, and I'm sure that there would be there's room to explore what could be done with major announcements from Brazil, probably in 2025. But I'm here also to invite you to attend this summit, and in March 2024. To discover it, I can share with you some examples of what other delegations have been doing in the past few years, where, for example, last year, Singapore, they hosted a VIP lunch at the summit with this amazing view on the Eiffel Tower. And we have them by connecting them with some important CEOs, experts, mayors of our network, so that they could connect with the Singaporean delegation and see what can be done in terms of partnerships between Europe and Singapore. The Hague as well came last year, and they had some. They supported the exhibition as well of a few really inspiring solutions from The Hague, and that are tackling several UN goals, and they were there to support them as well. So yeah, so this is really an open invitation to you all to attend the summit this year. There's many reasons to come when it comes, you know, you know, showing what Brazil is doing, but also trying to connect with important stakeholders that are attending the summit to see what can also be implemented locally in Brazil. There's a lot of opportunities to explore in terms of open innovation, in terms of growth and business development for companies, whether they are startups, SMEs, or larger organizations, and obviously many reasons to invest or to attract capital as well in your region. So just in summary, there's yeah, you're very much welcome to attend as a participant this year. If you have a solution for the planet to pitch, and you're raising funds to pitch during the summit, to network with other investors, to exhibit your solution, and we still have opportunities in the health, sport, and mobility zones. Maybe there could be room as well for the organization of an event connecting the Brazilian community with the top-level participant of the summit. And then, yes, make noise about your participation, but because I think that there's a lot of countries coming to the summit that will be really interested to know that that there's a good delegation from Brazil attending the summit this year. Thank you. I'm very happy I'll be happy to answer some questions if you have some for me at the end of this session.
Merci, Kevin. Thanks for your presentation. I think that apart from everything that Kevin said, it's a really amazing experience where you can feel a different energy. I would say to Kevin, since the first edition that I came on 2018, that I would like to live on the event, because it's really a slogan that they use, step into a sustainable world. And I think that we can find, it doesn't matter if it's through our hobbies, through food, through fashion, or even to the business models or the way we act and the way we behave in our organizations, in our institutions, and even bringing those opportunities to Brazil, because it's much better if we come in an institutional level. So Kevin, I'm gonna apologize because I'm gonna switch to Portuguese. Of course, you're free to participate. I know that there is also members of ChangeNow team here. We're gonna open for Q&As in the end, and I'm gonna bring as well some opportunities that what we designed and my view as an attendant of 4 editions in different formats, even online at the pandemics. And the last thing I would like to say is the photo you showed at Grand Palais. I was there just before the pandemics, and I brought people with me for ChangeNow Summit. And it was just before the COVID arrived that I had to come back to Brazil. And it inspired me through the connections of the summit. And apart from that, to connect with other people from Portugal and bring a project that I became a founder to Brazil called Rooms Against COVID. So it was an emergential aid. And I know there's an emergency response area for projects that come out of disasters and out of things that you have to move really quickly. And all these things that we had at ChangeNow, the methodologies, U theory, like lots of design thinking, lots of contents that we use on our daily basis for innovation and impact. It's like we find it at ChangeNow. That's why I call myself the Brazilian ambassador, and I present myself like that, because I really do believe that coming as in an institutional way brings amazing opportunities, even better for the organizations that are coming, for the country itself, and to open field for not only 2024 participation, but also to plan a bit more in advance for 2025. So Kevin, thanks very much. I'm going to switch to Portuguese for my presentation. And merci beaucoup. Bom, muito obrigada a todos até aqui. Eu vou apresentar a minha tela com a apresentação que eu fiz em português. E aí, como eu falei para vocês, eu vou explicar um pouquinho mais, além da ida para o evento, que é incrível, como o Kevin mostrou, e esse grande ecossistema que borbulha e é efervescente de soluções concretas, que eu acho que é algo que a gente não vê muito no Brasil. Então, a estruturação de um seminário muito voltado a soluções concretas e meios que o evento viabiliza e a ida como delegação para que conexões sejam relevantes, para que a gente tenha aplicabilidade e que traga para o Brasil diversos tipos de possibilidades para acelerar essa transição para uma agenda mais sustentável e mais de impacto. Então, queria agradecer de novo todos os apoiadores que estão aqui. Eu vou compartilhar a minha tela e para vocês verem um pouco do que eu trouxe. Então, acho que primeiro um pouco da minha trajetória, para as pessoas que não me conhecem. Eu sou economista de formação. Essa minha foto foi na última edição do ChangeNow no ano passado. Eu me formei na Federal do Paraná e fui fazer minha formação desde cedo fora do Brasil. E foi quando eu descobri, na verdade, já em economia em 2007, eu fiz minha monografia sobre crédito de carbono e desenvolvimento sustentável. Desde então, eu venho estudando e buscando muita fonte de conhecimento pelos mercados lá fora estarem mais estruturados. Fui estudar na London School of Economics, onde eu fiz minha formação também nessa área, e muito da minha carreira se pautou em olhar o que estava mais estruturado fora do Brasil, trazer e adaptar como oportunidades. Acabei apoiando muito na aceleração de impacto, não só de organizações sem fins lucrativos, mas de estruturação de ecossistema e de conexões que acelerassem, não só no empreendedorismo social e negócios de impacto, mas também trazendo essa visão empresarial de como que as empresas podem ser mecanismos e parte da solução que tivessem ações alinhadas com o seu core business. E como eu falei, acabei me tornando empreendedora social do Rooms Against Covid, que foi um projeto internacional que eu trouxe para o Brasil, muito também o que me mobilizou a continuar falando como eu poderia usar o mesmo mindset de olhar o que estava mais avançado, trazer e adaptar para o Brasil, abrindo as portas para essa rede global que eu faço parte de diversas iniciativas, inclusive de INSEAD, onde eu fiz a minha formação de empreendedorismo social, inovação e impacto, mas também de outras que eu faço parte para que a comitiva brasileira tenha a possibilidade de usufruir de uma experiência ainda melhor. Então, do ChangeNow eu não vou nem falar, eu acho que um slide que o Kevin não disse, mas que mostra um pouquinho, é o perfil de público participante. A gente conversa e convidou algumas organizações que são líderes de diversos níveis institucionais, mas é isso, é um ecossistema. Então, assim como tem corporações e grandes empresas, também tem investidores, pequenas e médias e startups. Eles têm um papel super relevante com educação, inclusive com ensino superior fora. Então, qualquer entusiasta do tema, por mais que tenha um aspecto técnico, as temáticas são abordadas de forma que é um open invitation mesmo, é um convite para essa mostra, que é esse foco de inspiração. Essa oportunidade, ela veio muito através também do último edição, onde o encerramento eles escolheram o cacique Raoni para falar da Amazônia e trouxe uma delegação dos povos originários, mas ali muito essa abertura do evento, procurando diferentes regiões globais, inclusive do sul global, para trazer soluções e acelerar essa agenda de sustentabilidade. Quando a gente está lá, eu acho que atua nessa área de impacto e de inovação, parece que vem um chamado de você falar, não, mas o que eu posso fazer sendo brasileira, estando aqui? E aí eu fui conversar com o Kevin e fui entender como que seria essa oportunidade de trazer essa comitiva e formar essa comitiva para o Brasil, para que a gente usufrua das oportunidades que vêm através da participação como delegação. Como eu já disse, agradeço todos os parceiros que ajudaram a viabilizar, e eu acho que o importante de falar qual é a diferença de participar individualmente ou participar como comitiva. Então, eu já participei 4 vezes, inclusive online, em side events organizados por INSEAD. A experiência que eu tenho de participação ajuda, porque assim como essa feira ela é grande, ela pode ser overwhelming, ela pode ter muita informação. Então, a ideia de desenhar essa comitiva também é para apoiar e fazer uma curadoria de conteúdo para o que faz mais sentido dentro da participação também das agendas individuais. Promover as conexões entre os membros brasileiros que vão na comitiva, porque também tem muita inteligência coletiva que às vezes não é aproveitada nos eventos, à medida que as pessoas vão individualmente e não tem com quem compartilhar, não tem com quem, não tem como ter um clone, que era a minha vontade lá. Então, a ideia de trazer diferentes membros é também usufruir dos diferentes pontos de vista, o que é super benéfico para a inovação. Eu sou fluente em inglês e francês, isso, apesar do evento, grande parte dele ser em inglês, tem alguns painéis em francês, e eu quase nasci, na verdade, em Paris, tenho uma forte conexão com a cultura francesa, então isso também veio de um pouco do DNA de como que eu organizaria uma missão e uma comitiva para que isso ajudasse a trazer uma experiência melhor para cada pessoa que participar. Além disso, tem um destaque diferente a membros da comitiva brasileira, que a gente conversou bastante com o Kevin. Então, existem diversos tipos de formatos de participação, mas aqui eu estou focando primeiro num pacote, como se fosse um pacote mais... um pacote inicial. E aí, a partir desse pacote inicial, também estamos abertos a entender o que é valor para as iniciativas que participam, e aí a gente atua vendo como é que a gente pode fazer isso, inclusive com os eventos extras, porque muitos dos extras têm um custo adicional. Mas o que está incluído nesse primeiro pacote dessa missão que a gente viu? Então, o destaque a membros da comitiva brasileira e a visibilidade internacional da delegação. Então, quando você vai sozinho, você que tem que fazer toda essa apresentação de quem você é e tal, e tem esses espaços, sem dúvida, de networking para que as agendas individuais aconteçam, mas a ideia é fomentar a delegação brasileira e a participação de pessoas, membros e organizações que são precursores abrindo nessa primeira oportunidade para o Brasil. O apoio de conexões, então eu faço parte de algumas redes globais de impacto que estão para além, né, do ChangeNow e de INSEAD, e o que eu mais gosto, assim como eu fiz hoje, é olhar essas oportunidades, conectar as diferentes pessoas e marcas e trazer para o Brasil. A ideia é que parte dessa programação envolva um apoio mais direcionado de curadoria de conteúdo, para que inclusive ajude a fomentar parcerias globais, negócios internacionais, enfim. Alguns cases do que eu já fiz. Então, em outras edições, eu já trouxe uma solução para uma indústria que eu prestei consultoria, e eles tinham uma questão com pneus. Eu trouxe uma solução a partir de um case que eu vi na mostra lá, de o que eles poderiam fazer para que fosse uma economia circular mesmo do pneu, sem ter uma parte, às vezes, não contemplada de emissões de componentes ou soluções que vêm da China para que você possa ter uma economia circular in loco. Eu já trouxe inspiração para pessoas que estavam querendo mudar de carreira e que acabaram indo para o evento e trouxeram isso para a sua vida pessoal. Eu já trouxe oportunidades para empreendedores brasileiros que acabaram indo para o ChangeNow pela primeira vez também, isoladamente, e para entusiastas e pessoas que abram o olhar para ver como qualquer modelo de negócio, de qualquer indústria, e inclusive o pavilhão que tem a parte de gastronomia, pode ter inovações e ter estratégia voltada para impacto e sustentabilidade. Então, esse meu olhar, que é aonde eu trago esse a mais da experiência, é o compartilhamento do que eu gostaria de proporcionar dentro da comitiva. Então, além disso, vai ter, na prática, uma preparação do evento e um jantar de boas-vindas, para que as pessoas se conheçam e que usufruam melhor do seu tempo. Durante, vai ter o acesso nos 3 dias do Summit e alguns convites exclusivos, inclusive para os perfis de investidor, o acesso ao Investor Lounge, alguns benefícios extras de orientação de logística, e que grande parte também do que eu sinto que eu gostaria de proporcionar é que haja um pós-evento, porque depois que eu fui algumas vezes e comecei a fazer pesquisa de missões internacionais, eu entendo que tem um momento pós-evento que às vezes fica a cargo muito individualmente da participação, e o intuito é trazer essas diferentes perspectivas de pontos de vista como grupo de participação da comitiva brasileira, para que isso gere mais insights de aplicabilidade, novos projetos e negócios, e também que os participantes não fiquem como apenas numa participação mais passiva. Eu vou trazer a Lorena aqui da Welcome Trips, que vai apresentar quem me ajudou a desenhar como que a gente vai fazer e o que envolve esse primeiro pacote, essa primeira experiência. Vocês vão receber depois no link para as informações mais detalhadas do preço e de como que a gente desenhou isso tudo, e depois a gente termina nas perguntas e respostas. Lorena.
Olá, bom dia, tudo bem? Prazer estar aqui apresentando esse webinar junto com a Anastácia, convite dela. Eu sou da agência de viagens Welcome Trips, é uma agência de turismo de experiências. Nós estamos há 18 anos no mercado, trabalhamos com eventos fora do Brasil, então nós somos um grupo, né, Welcome Trips, que são viagens de lazer, Welcome Weddings, que são casamentos fora do Brasil, e a Welcome Corporate, que nós atendemos diversas empresas no mundo todo. E aí nós criamos um pacote para facilitar, para que todos estejam juntos nesse grupo, né? Nós criamos um pacote junto com a Anastácia, vai ter, no caso, hospedagem de 5 noites em Paris, para que seja facilitado todo esse transporte de todo mundo, translados do aeroporto, apoio, né, na comunicação em inglês e francês durante todo o período da feira. Nós fazemos o atendimento exclusivo durante toda a viagem, organizamos a logística, né, e toda a experiência Paris, podemos organizar também algumas atividades lá para os momentos livres, né? Então, eu acredito que seja, assim, uma excelente oportunidade para que todos se conheçam, para que troquem bastante informação, para que aprendam bastante nesse evento, e eu tenho certeza que essa parceria com a Anastácia vai gerar um grande retorno para todo mundo. Nós temos, assim, um pagamento flexibilizado também, podemos parcelar em 6 até 8 vezes, e aí depois a Anastácia vai encaminhar para vocês os nossos pacotes, as opções que nós temos, né? E qualquer dúvida também estamos aqui à disposição para, caso quiserem alguma extensão da viagem ou até antecipar, né? Nós temos know-how completo disso.
Obrigada, Lorena. Eu acho que as coisas importantes também da gente falar, nessa pesquisa que eu fiz sobre eventos e missões, a gente também teve um objetivo de fazer uma priorização de como que teria conforto, como que a gente colocaria uma hospedagem na parte central de Paris, próximo da Tour Eiffel, onde é o evento, com a opção de ir a pé. A gente sabe que as pessoas também gostam de ficar próximo, então, diferente de outros pavilhões de exposição que são longes, ou hotéis que são longes, a gente pensou em todos os detalhes para facilitar a hospedagem, facilitar a ida e volta para o hotel, caso necessite. Dentro do ChangeNow tem um setor de alimentação, mas a vantagem de ficar ali do lado, que é uma área muito charmosa de Paris, que tem vários restaurantes, bares, caso necessitem de encontros separados, de agenda one-on-one, de explorar mesmo, ou até de tempo para parar e respirar, essa opção ela dá, diferente de alguns outros eventos e localizações de hospedagem que inviabilizam essa ida e volta. Então, a gente pensou um pacote que envolve a hospedagem e esse conforto, como a Lorena falou, várias outras opções que facilitam não só na missão, a ida para o evento, flexibilidade para agendas individuais, que a gente sabe que é importante, que num pacote só fechado também às vezes inviabiliza, apoio e assessoria, e que vocês contem conosco para que seja a melhor experiência da primeira comitiva brasileira. Eu acho que eu vou agradecer, a gente abre para perguntas e a gente envia para vocês o link com as opções que são pacotes a partir de quartos duplos e flexibilização de pagamentos. Algumas perguntas que eu tive têm flexibilização também para grupos e para participação de grupos, e a gente fica à disposição. Não sei se alguém tem alguma pergunta. Ângela, se você quer trazer algum outro ponto de vista pela ABVCAP como promotora desse nosso evento e desse webinar. E também ali o meu e-mail, ele está à disposição para vocês. Eu vou mostrar de novo aqui a tela onde tem o e-mail. O objetivo é que realmente a gente represente o Brasil, capte oportunidades internacionais, acelere o impacto e a agenda de transformações. E agradeço de novo aos meus parceiros. Ângela, muito obrigada. E os espaços para pergunta estão abertos pelo chat e eu deixo a palavra com você.
Não, eu quero agradecer demais a vocês. Nastácia, a gente quer daqui para frente realmente fazer uma parceria com um pouquinho mais de calma, mas eu acho que foi super rico super ricas as explanações suas, do Kevin, a quem a gente agradece muito a participação. Thank you very much, Kevin, and success in the event. A gente espera, sim, pelo menos reunir um grupo, talvez não tão grande quanto a gente gostaria, devido à proximidade do evento, mas com certeza nas próximas edições a gente vai poder trazer repercussão dessa missão aqui agora e ampliar bastante. Mas a gente incentiva aí quem tiver disponibilidade e puder participar e aproveitar essa oportunidade, está muito conectada com tudo que a ABVCAP faz, né, promover, fomentar os investimentos, atrair investidores internacionais. Então, assim, eu acho que a Anastácia vai estar disponível aí para responder perguntas, a gente vai mandar as apresentações para vocês analisarem com calma, e, assim, agradecer demais a vocês aí por terem se aproximado da gente e a gente poder oferecer essa oportunidade aos nossos associados.
Obrigada, Kevin. Obrigada, Ângela. Merci, Kevin. Uma pessoa perguntou aqui no chat, so there's someone who asked in the chat, Kevin, if you might have got, because of the French, but if there's still space to pitch on the booth, or either on the pitch part or on the booth for the initiatives. So I would leave it to you.
Yeah, there's still space to pitch to investors, and then to exhibit. There's only 3 zones that are where we can add some more projects. It's health, so it's any project related to the health topic, mobility, clean mobility, and then sport as well. So if you have a project that are connected to one of those 3 topics, and that is with the social and environmental angle, then that's or human health, obviously, then it's still possible to apply, but we need to know very quickly because we are the expo is closing in a few days. So to exhibit we're going to need some confirmations in the days that are coming. And then for pitching, there's room in all the different topics that we are covering around circular economy, oceans, biodiversity, decarbonation, and all the other topics I mentioned before. It's possible to apply.
Merci. Thanks, Kevin. So I think that also important to mention that this showed up as an opportunity for us to do it. And when we have entrepreneurial gut, we really don't want to miss the opportunity. So the idea is actually to plan for 2025 a bigger delegation, but there are still spaces opened. We're going to bring much more qualified public rather than doing like an opening of the delegation. But the objective is to really bring people to this experience, which is amazing. And you're going to know if you experience it. I think that ChangeNow has a different, like, such as people when they talk about Brazil, like you have to experience the energy of Brazil. And of course, Kevin, you're much more welcome here, and ChangeNow team as well, because I really do believe there are strong possibilities of international collaboration and partnerships and doing business together to accelerate the transition to a sustainable world. So I'm not sure if we have anything else. Let me take a look at so someone asked if it's possible to attend online.
You can watch the replays of the conferences online, but not live. And I mean, you have to be there in Paris. But all the content of the conferences will be available online on YouTube after the event. So we make sure that the content is accessible. Obviously, if you want to connect, for all the business opportunity, the networking part of it, you need to be on site.
Great. And yes, as I said, ChangeNow, I participated online when it was during pandemics, but the experience of being there and the possibility to be in a place where globally you can be connected and seeing global different perspectives and point of views and present your institution or your company or your will to other people is really amazing. So I encourage everyone to attend. Kevin, thanks once more. Obrigada pela participação. A gente está falando com pessoas direcionadas e está tendo, por mais que seja em cima da hora, um interesse muito relevante de pessoas incríveis, de diferentes organizações, de empresas, de instituições. Como eu falei, o objetivo primeiro é Desculpa, eu fui desconectada, mas eu ia dizer que o primeiro objetivo era organizar esse webinar. A gente está aberto para entender o que são as demandas originais das pessoas e ver como que a gente pode gerar valor.
Obrigada a todos, então, e nós vamos mandar, então, as informações para todos que se inscreveram, mesmo os que não conseguiram participar. E aí a Anastácia vai ficar à disposição aí para ajudar vocês no que vocês precisarem.
Obrigada a você.
Obrigada. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you.
Obrigado. Thank you.
Obrigada a todo mundo.
Obrigada,
Prazer
até
por
mais.
aqui.
Prazer,
Obrigado.
até mais. Tchau, tchau.
Tchau.